After creating a mailing list, it's time to send our first newsletter. To do that, we're going to go to the mailer. Now, creating a newsletter is pretty similar to creating a news item. On the mailer page, we have a list of all the newsletters we have already sent. And like with news, it also shows us if there are any scheduled or draft newsletters waiting to be sent. Let's create a newsletter. We start by clicking the plus sign here next to the tabs. And once the newsletter template has loaded, we'll give it a name. I'm going to call this Summaries Here, Are You Ready? And then press Save. Now we have a draft for our newsletter, and we can start filling it up with content as we like. Since creating a new content takes some time, we're going to go to a previously created newsletter draft that already has some pre-made content in it. So, like you see, I've added my content here. And now, before sending this, we want to make sure how it looks like. To do that, we'll click the already familiar preview button here next to the tabs. As we can see, we don't have any styling in our example newsletter base, but if you have a newsletter plugin installed in your SOLU, you will have your own custom-made corporate template in use. One important fact to notice is the template structure. As you can see here, we have a full width column at the top, a wider column here on the left, and a narrow one on the right. The basic template for newsletters is pretty flexible. We can have a simple newsletter with just the full width column position, or we can skip that and just use these two columns next to each other. Or if we would like to have a template that has a narrow left column and a wide right column, we can do that as well. Say we want to do that. All we have to do is go back to the admin side and then delete the center position content here, and then drag the content from the left wide and right narrow positions to the opposite left narrow and right wide positions, like so. Let's see how this looks in the preview. Cool! Works like a charm. One thing to remember with sending newsletters is that if you're using images in your content, make sure that you do everything possible to reduce their file sizes. We don't want our newsletters to be huge, that they take up all the space in our clients' inboxes. Let's go back to the admin side and see how we could send this newsletter to our subscribers. After we've checked that the content looks good, we are ready to send. To do that, we can choose from a couple of options here on the left side column. I can either schedule the sending, and this works like any other scheduler in SOLU, or we can send a test mail to ourselves for one more time to check up that everything is perfect, or we can choose the send now option. Here you can modify the address this email is going to be sent from. I'm going to change this to our info address, like so. Then all I have to do is to choose the mailing list I want this to be sent to. I can also add some additional receivers here manually if I think I have forgotten someone, or I want to make sure my boss gets this email as well. Now press send, and that's it. After sending, SOLU will give you information on which subscribers have clicked on links in your newsletter. To see that, we can go back to the newsletter we have just sent and click this little subscribers link here. This will list you all the subscribers that have opened your newsletter and clicked a link there. That's about it. Happy mailing!